Welcome back to my kitchen, everyone. For today's menu item, I have this chicken pot pie that's loaded with fresh country herbs and roasted chicken, then capped off with a homemade buttermilk biscuit recipe that has some of the most beautiful butter layers I've ever seen on a pot pie. This recipe is absolutely to die for and only takes about an hour or so to whip up, so let's get into it. Alright, so first up on the list is the roasted chicken. So freshly pick and chop up some rosemary and thyme along with mincing a few cloves of garlic. Next, you're going to dress the skin on chicken breast and thigh with olive oil, salt, and fresh cracked black pepper, along with the herbs and the garlic. Once it's seasoned on all sides, cover with foil and bake this at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes. While that is baking away in the oven, prepare the buttermilk biscuit dough by adding the all-purpose flour to a mixing bowl along with honey, salt, and cold sliced butter. I personally like slices of butter instead of dices because they make the butter layers a bit more even from the start. Once the butter flakes are pressed with flour, add in the baking soda and powder, give it a quick mix, then add in the buttermilk, and lightly mix until it becomes a large mass of shaggy dough. Roll the dough out with a little bit of flour sprinkled over the top, then you're going to fold it in half. Roll and fold 2 more times for good butter layering, then you're going to wrap this in plastic and set this in the fridge for 20 minutes to rest. At this point, the chicken should be finished roasting, so remove it from the oven, pour the drippings into the saute pan that's on low to medium heat. Then you're going to dice up your mirepoix into small to medium sized pieces. Place the chopped mirepoix into the pan and cook for about 2 minutes while stirring. Peel and dice up your Yukon Gold potatoes and add that to the pan as well, along with a medley of finely chopped sage, rosemary, and thyme for a really deep country herb flavor for the filling. Now you're going to finish with butter, salt, and fresh cracked black pepper, then add in the all-purpose flour to make a roux and cook for about 2 minutes on low to medium heat before adding in the chicken stock to cover. Continue to cook this until the filling thickens to a gravy-like consistency, and finally add in some freshly shredded breast and thigh meat to finish this off. At this point, you could take the buttermilk biscuit dough out of the fridge and roll it out to about 1/4 inch thickness. You can go thinner on this, but I was shooting for something a bit exaggerated, so I kept it pretty thick for a tall biscuit loaded with layers. Just make sure when you're cutting the biscuit dough to press straight down with the cutter without any turning motion. If you turn the cutter, it tends to ruin the flaky layering as it rises in the oven. After that's all done, fill your baking dish or dishes about 2/3 of the way up with the filling, top with fresh peas or green beans. You can even add corn if you'd like, then cap it off with the cut buttermilk biscuits. Brush the top with a thin layer of buttermilk, then season with salt and cracked black pepper. Bake these at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for around 15 to 20 minutes or until the biscuit is super flaky and golden brown. Once they're all done baking away in the oven, allow them to cool for at least 10 minutes. Then right before you're about to serve, top with fresh parsley, and it's time to finally dig into this. This pot pie really is one of those recipes that can utilize leftovers just brilliantly, but can also be the star dish that's meant to be full focus of the starting ingredients. Also, you can get a few extra buttermilk biscuits from the recipe as well, which is pretty great for the next day's breakfast. As always, I hope you enjoyed the recipe as much as I did. Drop a comment letting me know your thoughts on it. Hit that like and share button, and I'll see you next time with another video. Stay creative in the kitchen. Later, everybody.